There is a power beyond human comprehension, a divine intelligence that orchestrates the flow of life in ways we cannot fathom. This power is not distant or detached. It is alive within you, closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. When you surrender to this infinite source, you align yourself with its unerring wisdom and boundless love. To surrender is not to relinquish your dreams, but to release the struggle of forcing them into existence. It is to step into the quiet assurance that the divine knows the way, even when you cannot yet see the path. Imagine for a moment that the very thing you have been longing for is already prepared for you, waiting patiently for you to step into the awareness of its existence. What if every delay, every obstacle was not a denial, but a divine orchestration, clearing the way for something greater than you could conceive? This is the nature of the divine. It does not work in halves or shadows. Its work is complete, whole, and always exceeding your expectations. But it requires your trust. Surrender is not an act of weakness. It is the ultimate strength. It is a bold declaration that you trust the unseen more than the seen, the eternal more than the temporal. When you surrender, you release your grip on worry and fear, making room for the divine to move in miraculous ways. Do you not realize that every time you let go, you invite the infinite to show you its magnificence? The universe delights in surprising those who trust, for trust is the language of faith, and faith moves mountains. Consider a seed buried in the dark soil. It does not fight its way upward in panic or doubt. It surrenders to the process, trusting that the sun will find it, that the rain will nurture it, and that it will one day bloom. So it is with you. Your dreams, your hopes, and your prayers are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of the divine. The surprise of God is not a mere coincidence or chance. It is a revelation. A moment when you realize that the divine was always working behind the scenes, weaving together the threads of your life into a masterpiece. Do not be disheartened by the waiting, for the waiting refines you, prepares you, and deepens your capacity to receive. You may not know how or when, but the promise is certain. God will surprise you. It will come in a way that defies logic and exceeds your wildest dreams. You will stand in awe, marveling at the perfection of it all, and you will know beyond any doubt that it could only have been the hand of the divine. So release your worries, quiet your fears, and rest in the assurance that all is well. Surrender is the sacred act of trusting that the universe knows what you need even before you ask. It is a humble yet powerful acknowledgement that there is a force greater than you, orchestrating every detail of your life with precision and love. When you let go, you do not lose control. You step into the flow of divine grace, where miracles are the natural order of things. Prepare your heart, for God's surprises are not small. They come like a flood, overwhelming you with goodness, mercy, and favor. When you surrender, you position yourself to receive not just what you have asked for, but far more than you imagined. Trust in this divine process. For the one who holds the stars in place is also holding you. The essence of surrender is not found in giving up, but in giving over, handing your burdens to the one who created you, the one who understands the intricacies of your heart even more than you do. To surrender is to release the constant need to control, to let go of the incessant questioning of when and how. It is to rest in the knowledge that the answers you seek already exist, not in some distant realm, but within the divine presence that permeates all things. Life often teaches us to hold on tightly to plans, expectations, and even fears, believing that our grasp is what secures our future. But have you ever considered that what you hold on to so tightly may be the very thing blocking the blessing? The divine flows freely, unrestricted and unlimited. When you surrender, you loosen your grip on the things that weigh you down, creating space for the miraculous to enter. Surrendering to God is not passive. It is the most active form of trust. It requires courage to release what is familiar, even when the familiar feels burdensome. It takes faith to let go of your timeline, your agenda, and your understanding, allowing the divine to unfold its perfect plan. And when you do, you step into a realm where possibilities are infinite, and surprises abound. Think of the times in your life when the unexpected occurred, when what seemed like a closed door led to an opportunity beyond your imagination. These moments were not accidents, they were divine interventions. They were reminders that while you were busy worrying or planning, the divine was working, orchestrating circumstances for your highest good. You may feel that you are in a season of waiting, and a waiting can feel endless. But what if this waiting is a sacred pause, a divine preparation? The caterpillar does not resist the cocoon, it surrenders to the transformation, trusting that it will emerge as something far greater. So it is with you. Your waiting is not wasted. Every moment is infused with purpose, shaping you into the person capable of receiving and stewarding the blessing that is on its way. The surprises of God often come when we least expect them. They catch us off guard, not because they were delayed, but because they arrive precisely when we have released our grip on how they should appear. The divine delights in surpassing our expectations, in revealing its love in ways that leave us speechless. A door you thought was closed forever suddenly swings open. A relationship you believed was beyond repair finds healing. A dream you had set aside as impossible is brought to life in a way you could never have orchestrated on your own. This is the power of surrender. It aligns you with the rhythm of the divine, where everything is perfectly timed, perfectly placed, and perfectly designed. When you release your need to control, you step into a flow that carries you effortlessly toward your destiny. The struggle ceases, the striving ends, and you find yourself in a place of peace, knowing that you are held in the hands of a loving Creator. There is a profound joy in surrender, a freedom that comes from releasing the weight of worry. The mind that is always calculating, always strategizing, is weary, but the heart that trusts is light, for it knows that it does not carry the burden alone. When you surrender to God, you exchange your limited perspective for divine insight, your fears for unshakable faith, and your doubts for a certainty that surpasses understanding. God's surprises are not bound by your circumstances. They transcend the limitations of time, space, and logic. You may look around and see lack, but the divine sees abundance. You may feel surrounded by obstacles, but God sees a clear path. Surrender does not deny the reality of your situation. It transcends it. It lifts your eyes above the temporary to behold the eternal, where all things are possible. There is a divine blueprint for your life, one that has been lovingly crafted with your unique purpose in mind. Every step, every detour, and every delay has been accounted for. Nothing is wasted and nothing is forgotten. When you surrender, you align yourself with this blueprint, allowing the divine to guide you with precision and grace. The act of surrender is not a one-time decision, but a daily practice. It is waking up each morning and choosing to place your trust in the divine, no matter what the day may hold. It is laying down your worries at the feet of the one who cares for you, knowing that you are never alone. It is a continual release of fear, doubt, and control, making room for the divine to work in ways that will astound you. Even in moments of uncertainty, when the path seems unclear and the future feels daunting, surrender invites you to rest in the assurance that you are seen, known, and loved. The divine has not forgotten you. On the contrary, it is preparing something so extraordinary, so beautifully tailored to your heart, that when it arrives, you will be. To surrender is to say, I trust you, even when I do not understand. I believe in your goodness, even when I cannot yet see it. This is the essence of faith, to walk by trust and not by sight, to believe in the unseen promises of God with unwavering certainty. And as you walk this path, you will find that your surrender is met with miracles, your trust with transformation, and your faith with fulfillment. The surprises of God are not random. They are intentional acts of love, designed to remind you of who you are and whose you are. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. The divine is working on your behalf, crafting blessings that will not only meet your needs, but exceed your dreams. When you surrender, you become a vessel for these blessings. You open yourself to the infinite possibilities of the divine, allowing its power to flow through you unhindered. Your surrender is not just for you. It is a testimony to those around you of the goodness and faithfulness of God. As you trust, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of faith and hope. Do not be afraid to let go. Do not be afraid to trust. The divine surprises that await you are worth every moment of surrender. They will come in ways that leave you breathless, in moments that restore your faith and renew your spirit. All that is required is your willingness to release the need to understand and control, trusting that the one who created you knows the desires of your heart and is faithful to fulfill them. When you surrender, you align yourself with the divine flow, where miracles are not the exception but the expectation. You step into a realm where the impossible becomes possible, where the unseen becomes visible, and where the desires of your heart are brought to life in ways that defy explanation. Trust in this process. Trust in the divine, and prepare yourself, for God's surprises are on their way. Surrender to God means entrusting not only the grand dreams, but also the small, seemingly insignificant details of your life into His hands. Often, it is in the tiniest gestures of faith that the most profound miracles are birthed. The way you trust in the face of uncertainty becomes the fertile ground upon which divine surprises are sown. Each moment of surrender, no matter how small, sends a signal to the divine that you are ready, not only for what you want, but for what you truly need. The divine operates in perfect timing, a timing that often defies human understanding. You may feel that time is slipping away, that your opportunity is past, or that the delay is evidence of denial. But the truth is, delay is never denial in the realm of the divine. What feels like waiting to you is, in fact, the intricate unfolding of divine purpose. Each second, each breath is part of a grand orchestration preparing you for what is to come. Even now, as you sit with your questions and doubts, the divine is moving on your behalf. It is opening doors that no man can shut, aligning circumstances that you cannot yet see. Your task is not to figure out the how or the when, but to trust the who, the one who holds all things together. The power of surrender lies in your willingness to let go of the need to see the entire staircase and to take the first step in faith. Consider the seed planted deep within the soil. For days, weeks, even months, it appears as if nothing is happening. The surface remains unchanged, and to the untrained eye it might seem as though the seed has been forgotten. But beneath the surface, a miraculous transformation is taking place. Roots are forming, growth is happening, and life is being prepared to break through. Your surrender is like that seed. It may feel hidden and forgotten, but within the unseen, the divine is nurturing something extraordinary. You must also remember that divine surprises are often wrapped in what appear to be challenges or losses. What you see as a setback may in fact be the setup for something far greater than you imagined. Sometimes the things you lose are the very things that make room for what is meant to be. Surrender means trusting that even in the breaking, there is a blessing. The divine sees the full picture when you can only see a fragment. There are moments when surrender feels like the hardest thing to do, especially when the weight of your circumstances presses heavily upon you. You may feel tempted to take matters into your own hands, to force a solution, or to cling to something that no longer serves you. But true surrender requires releasing the need to control and resting in the knowledge that the divine is working in ways beyond your comprehension. It is in your stillness that God works most powerfully. You may feel as though you are wandering in a wilderness, unsure of your next step and longing for direction. Yet the wilderness is not a place of abandonment, but of preparation. It is in the wilderness that you learn to rely on the divine, to listen for the still, small voice that guides you. The wilderness is where your faith is refined and your trust is deepened. It is not a punishment but a process, one that prepares you to receive the surprises that await you. To surrender does not mean to stop desiring or dreaming. On the contrary, it means to dream with an open hand, allowing the divine to shape your dreams into something far greater than you could have imagined. Your desires are not ignored but elevated, transformed into something that aligns perfectly with the divine plan for your life. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and that every good and perfect gift comes from above. When you surrender, you step into a partnership with the divine. It is no longer you striving alone, but the divine working through you, around you, and for you. This partnership is not based on your efforts, but on your willingness to trust. The divine is not impressed by your striving, but is moved by your faith. It is your belief, your unwavering trust, that activates the miraculous in your life. There is a divine order to all things, a timing that is neither early nor late, but always perfect. The surprises of God often come when you are least expecting them, not because they are delayed, but because they arrive precisely at the moment when you are ready to receive them. Trust that the divine knows the desires of your heart and is faithful to fulfill them in ways that will exceed your expectations. Surrender also invites you to embrace gratitude, even before the manifestation of what you desire. Gratitude is the language of faith, a declaration that you believe in the goodness of God, even when you cannot yet see it. When you live in gratitude, you align yourself with the frequency of miracles. You shift your focus from what is lacking to what is possible, creating each day is an opportunity to practice surrender. It is a daily decision to lay down your worries and to trust that the divine is in control. It is choosing to see beyond your circumstances and to believe in the unseen. It is living with an open heart, ready to receive the surprises that God has in store for you. The beauty of surrender is that it transforms not only your circumstances, but also your spirit. It brings a peace that surpasses understanding, a joy that is not dependent on external factors. When you surrender, you are no longer tossed about by the waves of life, but are anchored in the unshakable truth of the divine's love and faithfulness. The divine surprises that await you are beyond anything you could imagine. They are not limited by your circumstances or bound by your understanding. They are born of a love that is infinite, a power that knows no bounds. Trust in this love, in this power, and prepare yourself for the extraordinary. Your surrender is the key that unlocks the door to miracles. As you surrender fully, the weight you carry begins to lighten. You no longer feel the need to explain every twist and turn in your life. You no longer scramble for answers to questions that only the divine can answer. Surrender frees you from the relentless pursuit of control, replacing it with a quiet assurance that everything is unfolding as it should. This trust becomes your anchor in turbulent times, a refuge where you can rest and renew your spirit. It is faith, when paired with surrender, becomes a force that changes everything. It transforms your waiting into worship and your worries into prayers. Faith teaches you to see beyond what is visible, to believe in the impossible, and to expect the extraordinary. When you live in faith, you are no longer bound by what is, but are guided by what could be. You begin to realize that the divine is always working in your favor, even when the evidence seems to suggest otherwise. It is important to understand that surrender is not passive. It is an active expression of trust. It is not about giving up. It is about giving over. You are not retreating, but advancing, allowing the divine to lead you into realms you could never reach on your own. This act of surrender calls for courage, for it requires you to relinquish your grip on what is comfortable and familiar. But as you let go, you make space for something far greater to enter. Sometimes, the surprises that God has in store for you arrive disguised as detours. What you perceive as a closed door may be the divine redirecting you to something better. The disappointment you feel today may be the foundation of tomorrow's breakthrough. Trust that every no is making room for a greater yes. Trust that every delay is part of the divine design, preparing you to step into the fullness of what has been promised. In moments of doubt, when your faith wavers and surrender feels impossible, remind yourself of the times you've been carried before. Recall the seasons when what seemed impossible became reality, when what appeared lost was restored, when the unexpected arrived in ways that left you speechless. These moments are not random, they are the evidence of divine faithfulness. Let them be the fuel that keeps your faith alive as you wait for what is yet to come. Great, there is a beauty in surrender that cannot be overstated. It strips away the layers of fear and doubt, leaving you open to the infinite possibilities of the divine. It teaches you to live in the present, fully engaged and fully trusting, rather than being consumed by the regrets of yesterday or the worries of tomorrow. Surrender invites you into a state of flow, where you are no longer resisting life, but are aligned with the rhythm of the divine. When you surrender, you allow the divine to take the lead, and in doing so, you step into the flow of grace. This grace carries you through challenges and lifts you to heights you could never reach on your own. It is not something you earn or deserve, but something freely given, a reflection of the boundless love of the divine. Surrender opens the door to this grace, inviting it to work wonders in your life. The divine does not measure time as we do. What seems like a long wait to you is but a moment in the eternal perspective of the divine. Trust that the timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed. Trust that the divine knows what you need, when you need it, and how it will come to pass. This trust allows you to rest, even in the waiting, knowing that you are held in the hands of the one who created time itself. As you surrender, you begin to notice the small miracles that surround you every day. These are the gentle whispers of the divine, reminding you that you are not forgotten. The unexpected kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a sunrise, the comfort of a friend's words. These are all signs of divine presence and care. When you open your heart to these moments, you create space for even greater miracles to unfold. Your surrender is not only for your benefit, but for the benefit of those around you. As you live in trust and faith, you become a light for others, a living testament to the goodness of the divine. Your life, marked by surrender, becomes a source of hope and inspiration. Others will see your peace and wonder at its source. They will see your blessings and be drawn to the one who provides them. The divine surprises that await you are not limited by human understanding. They are born of a wisdom that sees the end from the beginning, a power that knows no bounds. These surprises are not random, but intentional, designed to bless you and to bring glory to the one who orchestrates them. They are the manifestation of promises that have been spoken over your life, promises that cannot be broken. Even in the face of uncertainty, hold fast to your faith. Even when the path is unclear, take the next step in trust. The divine is not only with you, but is ahead of you, preparing the way. Each step you take in surrender is a step closer to the fulfillment of the promises that have been placed within your heart. The power of surrender lies in its simplicity. It is not about doing more, but about being more present, more trusting, more open to the divine. It is about releasing the need to control and embracing the freedom that comes from letting go. In surrender, you find a peace that surpasses understanding, a joy that is not dependent on circumstances, and a hope that is unshakable. And every moment of surrender is an act of faith, a declaration that you believe in the goodness and faithfulness of the divine. It is a statement that you trust not only in what the divine can do, but in who the divine is. This trust transforms your waiting into worship and your uncertainty into confidence. It allows you to rest, even in the midst of the storm, knowing that the divine is in control. The journey of surrender is not a one-time decision, but a continuous process, one that requires courage, vulnerability, and deep trust. It is in each moment of surrender that you tap into a wellspring of divine energy, where your spirit connects with the infinite flow of God's love and guidance. With every act of surrender, you are affirming your willingness to receive the gifts that have already been prepared for you, even if you can't see them yet. The divine is never caught off guard, never surprised by the twists and turns of life. It is always working behind the scenes, shaping the contours of your life to ensure that the outcome is one that brings you into greater alignment with your true purpose. This is why it's essential to remember that you do not surrender to a life of emptiness or loss, Surrendering to the divine does not mean giving up on your dreams. Instead, it means trusting that the dreams you've carried are nothing compared to what God has planned for you. It's an invitation to let go of what you thought you wanted and open yourself to a life that is infinitely more beautiful, more expansive, and more fulfilling than you could ever imagine. More fulfilling than you could ever imagine. The desires of your heart are precious to the divine, and when you surrender, you align yourself with a higher purpose, a purpose that will bring you the joy, peace, and fulfillment you have been seeking. When you let go of the need to control the outcome, you make room for the divine to surprise you in ways you couldn't even dream of. The surprises that await you are not limited by human expectations. They come in all forms, in the shape of opportunities, unexpected blessings, and encounters that will change the trajectory of your life. When you allow the divine to guide you, you will find that the very things you once thought were out of reach begin to unfold before you. The challenge is to trust, even when the path is unclear, and to have the faith that in surrendering, you are inviting divine intervention into your life. Each moment of surrender deepens your connection with God. It is not merely an act of releasing, but a constant act of reaffirmation that you trust in the wisdom and power of the divine. It is a sacred dialogue between you and God, where you acknowledge that there is a higher order at play, one that sees the whole picture while you only see a small part. When you let go of the need to control every aspect of your life, you open yourself up to the unexpected miracles that are already on their way. We often think of surrender as a passive act, a yielding to a fate we cannot change. But it is much more than that. Surrender is an active participation in divine purpose. When you surrender, you do not give up your ability to shape your future. Rather, you align yourself with a force far greater than yourself. You choose to step out of the driver's seat and trust the divine navigator to take you on a journey to a destination more beautiful than you could have mapped out yourself. This is where faith comes alive, when you let go of your plans and allow divine timing to unfold in its perfect way. There are times when the world may tell you that your dreams are too big or too impossible, that the road ahead is too difficult, or that you're not worthy of what you desire. But the truth is, when you surrender to God, you acknowledge that you are worthy, not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are in Him. You are a beloved child of the divine, and nothing is too difficult for God to accomplish. The surrender is not about letting go of your dreams, but about handing them over to the one who has the power to bring them to fruition in a way that is beyond your wildest imagination. There will be moments when surrender feels challenging, when fear or doubt creeps in. You may wonder if your dreams are too far out of reach, or if you've been forgotten. In those moments, remember that God's love and plans for you are steadfast. You are not abandoned, and you will never be left alone. The divine is always present, waiting for you to turn to it in full surrender. It's easy to trust when everything is going well, but true surrender shines brightest in the midst of uncertainty. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you give God the space to work in ways that you cannot predict or control. In this surrender, there is also a call to release past hurts, failures, and disappointments. The weight of unhealed wounds can block the flow of divine blessings, but when you surrender your past, you open yourself to healing and transformation. The divine is in the business of restoring, of redeeming, and of making all things new. When you surrender your past, you make room for a future that is free from the chains of regret and bitterness. You allow yourself to become who you were always meant to be, unburdened by the weight of old wounds and unfulfilled expectations. God's surprises often come in the most unexpected ways, and they are rarely tied to your efforts or actions. They are born of grace, not merit. Divine surprises often arrive when you least expect them, when you have let go of your tight grip on life, when you have stopped pushing and striving, and when you are at peace with the uncertainty of the journey. You don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to have a plan for everything. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply release it all into God's hands and trust that the universe will unfold exactly as it should. The act of surrender is a powerful declaration that you trust in God's perfect timing and provision. It is a statement that you believe there is a plan for your life, even when the road ahead is unclear. Surrender invites you to step out of your own limited understanding and into a space where miracles are possible. When you surrender, you acknowledge that the divine knows better than you do, and that the life you are meant to live is already unfolding, even if you can't see it yet. And it is in that moment of surrender that divine surprises begin to unfold, unexpected opportunities, connections, and experiences that will take you to heights you never imagined. As you let go, the world around you begins to shift. People, places, and events align in ways that are beyond coincidence. When you surrender, you step into a flow, a divine current that carries you to where you need to go. Doors open and the path ahead becomes clearer. The surprises of God are not always dramatic or immediate, but they come in the form of small blessings, unexpected gifts, and moments of grace that remind you that you are loved, you are seen, and you are exactly where you need to be. The process of surrendering to God is ongoing, a continual opening of your heart and mind to divine guidance. It is a daily act of faith, of letting go and trusting in the unfolding of God's perfect plan. With each moment of surrender, you are moving closer to the life that has been prepared for you. And in the process, you become more aligned with your true purpose, more aware of the divine presence in your life, and more open to receiving the blessings that are waiting for you. In this act of surrender, you are not losing anything, but gaining everything. You are gaining peace, joy, and the freedom that comes from knowing you are held in the loving embrace of the divine. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and know that the surprises that await you are more beautiful than anything you could have imagined on your own. Let go, let God, and watch in awe as He begins to reveal the incredible plans He has in store for you. The essence of surrender lies in embracing the unknown, releasing your hold on what you think is the best path for your life. It involves not only trusting in God's plan, but also in His infinite wisdom, understanding that His vision for your life is far grander than anything you could have imagined. In moments of surrender, you might feel vulnerable and exposed, as if you are standing on the edge of an abyss. But it is in those very moments that you discover the depth of God's love and the magnitude of His plan. God's surprises often emerge when we are willing to let go of our own expectations and trust that He is leading us towards something far better than what we could have chosen for us. Surrender is the realization that you do not need to control everything because God, the creator of all things, is already at work. When you surrender, you stop trying to force outcomes and instead start trusting in the divine process. You release the need for things to happen according to your timeline and allow yourself to experience the beauty of divine timing. God is never early and never late. His timing is perfect, even when it doesn't match the timing we have in mind. The moments when things seem to pause or delay are often the very moments when God is preparing something extraordinary for us. Every step you take in faith, trusting and surrendering, brings you closer to the divine surprises that await you. As you release your control and allow God to lead, you are opening the doors to new possibilities. The unknown, which once seemed intimidating, becomes a space of opportunity and endless potential. Life, when surrendered to God, transforms into an adventure where you are guided by unseen hands. It becomes less about the obstacles you face and more about the journey itself, a journey of growth, learning, and transformation. You begin to understand that the experiences you have, the challenges you face, and even the moments of joy are all a part of the greater plan that is being unfolded before you. The beauty of surrender is that it invites you into the present moment. So often we are caught in the worry of what will happen next, or the regret of what has already happened. But when you surrender, you free yourself from the constant cycle of anxiety and guilt. You enter into a state of peace where you are fully present and aware of God's presence in every moment. This is where miracles happen, where divine surprises begin to take shape. When you are in the present, not distracted by the past or future, you open yourself to receiving the fullness of what God has for you. Surrendering does not mean inaction. It means letting go of the need to control outcomes and allowing space for God to move. It is an active trust, one that requires you to still your heart and mind and allow God to work through you. The act of surrender involves stepping into faith, into a space where you trust that God is always at work on your behalf, even when you cannot see or understand the full picture. God's surprises often come in unexpected ways. They arrive not when you demand them, but when you least expect them, as a gift wrapped in divine timing. When you are open to receiving, they appear in the form of opportunities, people, and circumstances that seem to align perfectly with your desires, even though they might be completely different from what you imagined. In moments of surrender, we may question ourselves, wondering if we are doing it right, if we are truly trusting. But the truth is that surrender is a process, and it does not require perfection. It simply requires a willingness to let go and trust. Trust is not something that happens all at once, but rather it is something that deepens over time. As you surrender more and more, you begin to witness the profound effects of God's presence in your life. You start to see the ways in which God is at work, moving things in your favor, bringing about the very things you need at the right time. One of the most powerful aspects of surrender is the sense of peace it brings. When you stop fighting, stop controlling, and stop resisting, you enter into a state of profound peace that can only come from knowing that God is in control. This peace allows you to rest, to trust, and to open your heart fully to the blessings that are waiting for you. The surprises that God has for you are always in alignment with the deepest desires of your heart, even if they come in ways you didn't expect. They are a confirmation that God sees you, knows you, and is working tirelessly to fulfill His plan for your life. Surrender also invites you to release fear. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but when you trust in God's plan, fear loses its power. When you trust that God is always with you, guiding you and protecting you, fear cannot control you. Surrender is the antidote to fear. It is the act of stepping out in faith, believing that even when you can't see the way, God is already ahead of you, clearing the path and preparing the way. As you release your fears and surrender to God, you will find that the surprises you receive are often exactly what you need to overcome those fears and grow into the person you are meant to be. In the quiet moments of surrender, when you stop striving and just listen, you will hear the voice of God guiding you. Sometimes this guidance comes in the form of a gentle whisper, a nudge in your spirit, or an unexpected opportunity that presents itself. Other times it comes in the form of peace, a deep knowing that everything is going to work out as it should. You begin to recognize that God is speaking to you through everything, the people you encounter, the experiences you go through, and even the quiet moments of reflection. Each moment of surrender brings you closer to understanding your true purpose and to living the life you were always meant to live. As you continue on this journey of surrender, you will come to realize that it is not just about receiving surprises from God, but also about becoming the person who can fully embrace and appreciate them. Surrendering to God means surrendering to the idea that there is always more for you to experience, more for you to become, and more for you to give. It is a constant invitation to grow, to stretch, and to expand into the fullness of who you were created to be. The surprises that God has in store for you are not just external, they are also internal. As you surrender to God's will, you begin to discover new facets of yourself, strengths you never knew you had, and a deeper understanding of your own potential. God's surprises often come when we least expect them, in the moments when we are willing to let go of our expectations and allow life to unfold in its own perfect way. When you surrender, you give up the need for everything to make sense, and you open yourself to the beauty of mystery. You trust that God is working behind the scenes, arranging the pieces of your life in ways that will leave you in awe. The surprises are not just about the things you get. They are also about the transformation you experience as you walk this journey of trust and surrender. They are about the ways in which your heart, mind, and soul are expanded as you come into alignment with your divine purpose. In the end, surrendering to God is not about weakness or giving up. It is about strength found in trust and faith. It is about releasing the need for control and allowing God to work in your life in ways you could never imagine. When you choose to surrender, you open yourself to the divine flow of blessings, opportunities, and surprises that God has been preparing for you all along. These surprises are not mere coincidences, they are the manifestations of God's love, grace, and perfect timing. As you let go and trust in His plan, you align yourself with the highest good for your life. You begin to see that every moment of surrender brings you closer to the life you were always meant to live. God's surprises may not always come in the form you expect, but they will always be exactly what you need. And in those moments of unexpected blessings, you will find the peace, joy, and fulfillment that come from knowing that God is with you every step of the way. So surrender to Him, trust in His timing, and be open to the beautiful surprises He has waiting for you. The best is yet to come, and it's already on its way. When faced with a narcissist, the natural impulse might be to call them out, to expose their behavior for what it truly is. But God calls us to a higher path. We must understand that in this world of duality, what we focus on expands. To call out the narcissist is to dwell in the very energy we wish to be free from. It brings us into their reality, a reality built on manipulation, deceit, and control. But God's reality, the divine order, operates on a different frequency. A frequency of love, peace, and understanding. The way to transform any situation, including one with a narcissist, is not through confrontation, but through the power of thought. What you think, you create. Your thoughts are your most powerful tool. God says, as a man thinks, so is he. This is not just a principle, but the law of the universe. The narcissist exists in your life not to challenge you, but to reveal to you the power that lies within you. You do not need to meet their energy with the same force. Instead, you rise above it. When you encounter a narcissist, rather than calling them out, call forth the truth of your own divine nature. See yourself as God sees you, whole, perfect, and untouched by the illusions of this world. See the narcissist as they are, but know that their behavior is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, not yours. Do not let their dissonance disturb your inner peace. You are in control of your own consciousness. You are in control of your own consciousness. God does not call you to fight the darkness, but to be the light. When you focus on the light within you, the darkness cannot touch you. The narcissist cannot survive in your world if you do not give them the power to do so. Your thoughts are your dominion. Instead of fighting against them, lift your consciousness to a higher vibration. Choose to be surrounded by love and compassion, understanding that the narcissist's actions are born from deep insecurities and a need for validation. Reflect. Remember, you are not bound by what others project onto you. Your reality is created by your thoughts, and when you consistently align your thoughts with love and peace, you reshape the very fabric of your experience. When you do this, the narcissist fades into the background, no longer a disruptor in your life, but simply an actor playing a role. And that role, no matter how intense, no longer has any power over you. God does not need you to expose others. He calls you to transform yourself. You are not here to change the narcissist, but to change your own perception. When you change your perception, the world around you changes. You are not a victim of the narcissist's manipulation, but a powerful creator of your own reality. In the end, the only truth that matters is the truth of your own divinity. Your worth is not defined by their actions, but by the love and power that resides within you. Instead of calling out the narcissist, call forth the God within you. Focus on your own healing and growth. See yourself as already whole. And from this place of self-assurance, you will become untouchable by anything outside of you. The narcissist's energy cannot affect you unless you allow it. By focusing on your inner peace and strength, you shift the energy. What you think, what you feel, creates your reality. And when you rise above the chaos has no choice but to dissolve. You have the power to rise above and live in the peace of God's love. As you continue to walk through this life, you'll realize that each encounter, each challenge, is not a random event, but a part of the divine plan. Every person who enters your life, including the narcissist, has a role to play, but not in the way you might think. Their purpose is not to harm you, but to show you something within yourself that needs to be addressed. The narcissist is merely a reflection of a certain aspect of your consciousness. When you react, when you try to call them out, you are in fact engaging with the reflection in a way that keeps you attached to it. The mirror is only showing you what you focus on, and you must ask yourself, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the flaws, the manipulations, the arrogance and the selfishness of the narcissist? Or are you choosing to focus on the divine qualities within you that transcend their behavior? God's message to you is simple. Do not allow your thoughts to be ruled by negativity. Do not let another's actions control your peace of mind. When someone wrongs you, do not dwell in that wrong. Instead, call forth the peace of God which passes all understanding to guard your heart and mind. The narcissist may be a reflection of manipulation and self-centeredness, but you have the power to decide whether you will meet this reflection with a mirror of your own, or whether you will rise above it and see the higher truth. The higher truth is that you are divine, that your value is not dependent on the approval of others, and that your inner peace is your birthright. In this world, people are often stuck in patterns, trying to fill the emptiness within themselves with external validation, whether from attention, praise, or control. A narcissist feeds off of this need for validation, and in doing so, they live in a cycle that will never fulfill them. This is why their behavior may seem erratic and selfish, but it is not your responsibility to fix them. You are not here to change others, but to transform your own consciousness. The narcissist will remain in their patterns until they are ready to shift, and you cannot change that by confronting them, calling them out, or attempting to force them into a different way of being. The only way to truly change the dynamic is to change how you perceive it. The power of transformation is within you. You are the creator of your own reality, and when you realize this truth, you become unstoppable. When you rise above the need to confront the narcissist, when you choose to no longer engage with their manipulations, you are stepping into your power. You begin to see the world as it truly is, a reflection of your own consciousness. Your thoughts shape your experience, and the way you think about others, no matter how difficult their actions, ultimately shapes the outcome. Okay? Instead of seeking to challenge the narcissist, seek to change the only thing you can control, your thoughts. Begin by focusing on the love within you. Focus on compassion for yourself, and then extend that compassion to others, even the narcissist. Understand that their behavior is not a reflection of you, but a reflection of their inner void. You do not need to engage with that void. You do not need to allow it to consume your energy. Instead, you can choose to remain grounded in the truth of who you are, whole, worthy, and filled with divine love. Remember that God's guidance is always available to you. In times of difficulty, when faced with a narcissist or any other challenge, turn within and seek the wisdom that resides in your heart. There is no need for external validation when you are connected to the divine source within you. You are already enough. The narcissist too is enough in their own way, for they are a reflection of God's creation, though they may not yet realize it. But it is not your job to fix them. It is your job to stay true to the divine guidance you have been given, to focus on your own growth, and to create a reality that is in alignment with your highest good. When you are faced with a narcissist, the most powerful response is not to call them out, but to call forth your own divine power. Your thoughts are powerful, and the way you direct your energy determines the outcome. If you continue to focus on their behavior, you are perpetuating their reality. But if you choose to see them as a temporary figure in your life, a character in the grand play, then you are no longer bound by their actions. You are no longer tethered to their narrative. Instead, you are free to create your own. You are free to live in alignment with your true self, knowing that your peace is not dependent on anyone else's behavior. When you choose to see the narcissist through the eyes of love, you free yourself. You stop allowing their actions to pull you into their web. Instead, you rise above it. You realize that their actions, while painful, are simply the result of their own inner conflict. They are not a reflection of you. You do not need to meet them in the chaos. You can stay rooted in peace, knowing that you are always connected to a higher source of guidance. In every situation, including one with a narcissist, your true power lies in your ability to control your thoughts. You are not a victim of the world, you are a creator of your experience. When you realize this, the narcissist's behavior has no power over you. They may still try to manipulate or control, but you will no longer fall into their trap. Instead, you will see their attempts as mere distractions, attempts to draw you back into their web of illusion, and you will choose to rise above it, to stay focused on the truth of who you are. As you continue to focus on your own divine nature, your reality will begin to shift. You will no longer be triggered by the narcissist's actions, because you will understand that they are not personal. They are simply a reflection of their own inner conflict. And when you no longer take their behavior personally, you break the cycle. You no longer allow their energy to control your peace. You rise above the chaos and live in the truth of your own divinity. The key to dealing with a narcissist or any difficult person is not to confront them head on, but to transform yourself. Shift your focus. Focus on your own healing and growth. Do not let another person define your worth or your reality. You are the creator of your experience, and when you choose to live from a place of love and compassion, you become untouchable by the negativity around you. The narcissist's behavior is simply an illusion. It is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, and while you cannot change them, you can change your perception of them. You can choose to see them as part of the divine plan, not as someone to be fixed or called out, but as a soul on their own journey. By releasing the need to control or confront them, you release yourself from the grip of their energy. You reclaim your power and live in alignment with the divine truth of who you are. You become untouchable, unshakable, and free. So the next time you are faced with a narcissist, remember that you do not need to call them out. Instead, call forth the God within you. Rise above their manipulation, rise above their chaos, and stay rooted in the divine love that resides within you. This is the true path to peace and transformation. When you do this, you become a beacon of light in a world that is often consumed by darkness. You become a living testament to the power of your thoughts and the truth of your divine nature. And in doing so, you will change not only your own life, but the world around you. When you learn to align your consciousness with the divine, you begin to realize that every interaction, every moment, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. It is not just the narcissist who has the potential to shape your reality, it is you. You are the one who has the power to decide what is true and what is not. You are the one who can change your perception and thus change the world around you. So when faced with someone who exhibits narcissistic traits, do not fall into the trap of believing that they have control over you. Understand that your peace, your well-being, and your experience of the world are not dependent on the behavior of others, but on the thoughts and beliefs you hold about yourself. The narcissist may seem overwhelming in their self-centeredness, and their behavior may be deeply hurtful at times, but the narcissist is merely a reflection of their own inner struggles, a reflection of their inability to see the divinity within themselves. They act out of insecurity, fear, and the desperate need for validation. But just as their behavior does not define who you are, it does not define who they are either. It is merely an aspect of their journey, and just as you are on your own path of growth and understanding, so too are they. However, the difference lies in the fact that you have the ability to transcend your environment, to rise above the challenges, and to create a reality that is aligned with your highest good. The narcissist, caught in their own illusions, may not yet have this awareness. The key is to shift your focus. Shift your focus from their behavior to your inner state. Focus on your own healing, your own peace, and your own alignment with God's love. When you do this, the narcissist can no longer hold power over you. You may still encounter them in your life, but their actions no longer affect your peace. Instead of reacting to them, you will find yourself responding with love, understanding, and compassion. Not because you condone their behavior, but because you recognize that their actions are not a reflection of you. They are a reflection of their own wounds, their own fears, and their own need for validation. This shift in perspective is not about excusing their behavior, nor is it about tolerating mistreatment. It is about freeing yourself from the need to engage with their energy. It is about taking back your power. When you rise above the need to call them out or confront them, you are stepping into your true power as a creator. You are no longer bound by their actions. Instead, you are free to create your own reality, a reality that is aligned with love, peace, and divine understanding. When you focus on the love within you, you attract more of that energy into your life. And when you focus on compassion and understanding, you dissolve the barriers that exist between you and the narcissist. The narcissist may be stuck in their need for validation, but you do not need to feed that cycle. You do not need to give them the attention or recognition they crave. Instead, give that attention and recognition to yourself. Affirm your worth, your divinity, and your right to live in peace. When you affirm the truth of who you are, you begin to change the world around you. You begin to create an environment where the narcissist's behavior can no longer thrive because it is no longer part of your reality. It is important to recognize that in these moments of difficulty, you are not powerless. You are not a victim. You are a powerful being capable of transforming your experience with your thoughts and your beliefs. The narcissist, in their desire for control and validation, may try to pull you into their drama, but you do not have to engage. You do not have to participate in their game. Instead, you can choose to disengage and rise above it. You can choose to remain rooted in your own peace, knowing that you are the creator of your reality. This is where the power of awareness comes in. When you are aware of your own thoughts and beliefs, you begin to see how they shape your experience. You begin to understand that the narcissist's behavior is not personal, but rather a reflection of their own struggles. It is not something that needs to be addressed or called out, but something that simply needs to be seen for what it is, an illusion, a projection of their own fear and insecurity. And when you see it for what it is, you no longer give it power. You no longer allow it to disturb your peace or pull you into their energy. You see them as they are, but you also see yourself as you are, whole, complete, and filled with divine love. By seeing the narcissist through the eyes of love, you transform your own experience. You no longer see them as an enemy to be defeated or a challenge to be confronted. Instead, you see them as a soul on their own journey, and you recognize that you do not need to change them. You need only change your perception of them. You need only focus on your own inner peace, your own growth, and your own alignment with the divine. This is the seventh. And when you do this, the narcissist's energy no longer affects you. It simply fades away, unable to hold any power in the face of your own strength and peace. This is the path to true freedom. The path to freedom is not found in fighting against the narcissist, nor in confronting them, nor in seeking to change their behavior. True freedom is found in changing your own consciousness, in shifting your focus to the divine within you. When you do this, the narcissist's behavior becomes irrelevant. It no longer affects your peace or your reality. You become free to create a life that is in alignment with your highest good, free from the distractions of external forces. Remember, God's guidance is always available to you. When you are faced with challenges, you can always turn inward and seek the wisdom that resides within your heart. You are never alone. You are always supported by the divine. And when you align yourself with that support, you cannot be shaken by the actions of others. The narcissist's behavior, no matter how harmful or disruptive, is temporary, but your connection to the divine is eternal. When you focus on that connection, when you focus on your own peace, you step into your true power. And from that place of power, you can create a reality that reflects your divine truth. The narcissist, in their desperation for validation and control, may attempt to manipulate or influence you. But when you are rooted in your divine nature, you are impervious to their tactics. You do not need to fight or resist them. You need only focus on your own peace, your own strength, and your own divine connection. When you do this, you rise above their drama. You rise above their need for validation. You become untouchable by their energy. The key to dealing with a narcissist is not to call them out or engage in a power struggle. It is to recognize that they are a reflection of their own wounds and fears, and that you do not need to engage with their pain. Instead, you can choose to focus on your own healing, your own growth, and your own alignment with the divine. When you do this, you become a beacon of light in a world that is often consumed by darkness. You become a living testament to the power of your thoughts, the power of your awareness, and the power of your connection to the divine. And as you continue to focus on your own growth and peace, you will find that the narcissist's energy no longer has the same effect on you. They may still try to manipulate or control, but their power over you will be gone. You will no longer be affected by their behavior. Instead, you will remain rooted in your own peace, knowing that you are the creator of your reality. You are the one who decides what is true and what is not. With this point of view, you will now take it to narcissists no longer. And when you choose to see the divine truth within yourself, you can no longer be affected by the illusions of the world. You rise above them, and you create a life that is in alignment with your highest good. In the journey of self-realization, you will come to understand that what others say, do, or how they behave no longer has any power to shake your foundation, as long as your inner self is aligned with the truth of who you are. The narcissist may try to provoke, manipulate, or control, but they are only doing so because they do not have the internal peace and alignment that you do. Their actions stem from a place of fear, insecurity, and a deep yearning for validation. However, this is not your issue to fix, nor is it your responsibility to engage in it. Their struggle is their own. What they seek is not to be healed by you, but by their own awakening. When we face a narcissist, it is easy to get lost in the game they play, to feel as if we are compelled to respond or react to their provocations. But the reality is that every time you engage with their behavior, you affirm that their energy still holds weight over your life. This energy exchange can only continue as long as you give it permission. And once you stop giving it permission, the narcissist's behavior begins to lose its effect. It becomes background noise, irrelevant and powerless. This is the power of your awareness. By choosing to refrain from calling out or engaging with a narcissist, you are choosing to live in the light of your own divine power. Instead of reacting from a place of emotional volatility, you choose to respond from a place of inner peace and knowing. This doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to injustice or wrongdoings, but rather that you no longer see the narcissist as an opponent to be defeated. They are simply a soul wandering in their own confusion. When you recognize their behavior as coming from a place of deep, unresolved pain, your perspective changes. You stop viewing them as someone who is attacking you, and instead you begin to see them as someone who is trapped within their own cycle of fear and self-doubt. It is no longer your responsibility to stop their behavior. Your responsibility is to maintain your inner peace and clarity. It is in these moments, when faced with the challenge of interacting with a narcissist, that you truly understand the depth of your own inner power. The power is not in controlling others or changing their actions. The power is in controlling your own thoughts, emotions, and energy. By holding steady in your own peace, you are raising your consciousness to a higher level. This is the true power that you wield, the ability to choose how you respond to the world around you. And when you choose to respond with love, peace, and understanding, you are not only healing yourself, but also creating a ripple effect in the world around you. The narcissist, in their quest for external validation, may try to convince you that you are the one who is wrong, that you are the one who is overreacting. But the truth is that their projection of themselves onto you does not define who you are. Their words and actions are merely reflections of their own inner turmoil. When you cease to engage with this projection, you free yourself from its grip. In subversion to in-self, the inner reality, you no longer buy into the lie that their behavior defines your worth. You are not the sum of their words or actions. You are the divine expression of God, infinite and whole, just as you are. You see, when you hold firm in your own truth and stop feeding into the drama of a narcissist, you are standing in your own sovereignty. You no longer need validation from outside sources because you have come to understand that true validation comes from within. This is the key to personal freedom, the realization that your value does not depend on the approval or recognition of others, especially those who seek to manipulate or control. Their words are empty, meaningless, and do not touch the core of who you are. When you align yourself with this truth, you step into your own divine power. This understanding allows you to release any attachment to the narcissist's approval. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or defend your actions. Instead, you recognize that their judgment is a reflection of their internal struggles, not of your truth. You don't need to waste your energy trying to prove your worth to someone who is incapable of truly seeing you. The only validation you require is the understanding that you are worthy because you are a child of God, deserving of love, peace, and respect. When you fully grasp this, the narcissist's behavior can no longer affect you. You see them for what they are, a wounded soul seeking external validation to fill a void that cannot be filled by anything external. Their actions speak more about their inability to connect with their inner self than they do about you. It is not about you at all. And the more you remember this truth, the more you free yourself from their hold. You stop being a player in their game and begin to live from a place of inner peace, understanding, and self-love. There will be times when the narcissist's behavior tries to shake your foundation, to pull you back into their web of manipulation. But in those moments, return to the truth that you are the creator of your reality. Your inner state determines how you experience the world. When you choose to respond from a place of calm, your reality begins to shift. No longer will the narcissist's actions have the power to destabilize you. You will be unwavering in your peace because you know that you are not defined by their behavior. It is also essential to understand that the act of calling out a narcissist is in many ways an attempt to wrest control from them. But the truth is, control is never something that can be taken from another. It can only be given away. When you engage in the struggle, you give them the control they seek. Instead of stepping into the fight, step back and realize that the power lies in choosing not to participate. The narcissist's behavior is a manifestation of their own fears and wounds, and you do not need to get involved in that. You can choose to disengage, to not react, and in doing so, you assert your sovereignty. You choose to remain in the driver's seat of your own life. By doing this, you align yourself with divine wisdom, and when you are aligned with the divine, you are never lost. You know that no external circumstance can ever take away your peace. You are always in control of your experience because you have the power to decide what you believe. When you choose to stop reacting to the narcissist's behavior, you are choosing to react only to what is true and real, the love, peace, and strength that resides within you. So, the next time you encounter a narcissist, remember that their behavior does not define you. You do not need to call them out, fight against them, or engage in their drama. Simply hold firm in your truth and let their behavior pass you by. Let them play their game, but do not play along. Your peace is far more valuable than any temporary validation they may offer. You are enough, just as you are, and you do not need to change anyone to prove your worth. The power to create your reality is within you, and when you align with that truth, you will find yourself untouched by the narcissist's behavior, free to create a life filled with love, peace, and divine abundance. The narcissist, in their quest for control and validation, believes that the world revolves around their needs and desires. This is not a reflection of reality, but a distorted perspective shaped by their internal struggles. The pain they experience comes from a deep-rooted sense of inadequacy that they are constantly trying to cover up, sometimes with manipulation, other times through domination. But what they fail to realize is that this approach only reinforces their sense of emptiness. The more they demand, the more they seek external affirmation, the more they distance themselves from the only source that could truly heal their wounds, the divine connection within themselves. When you recognize that their behavior is a result of their own unresolved pain, your perspective changes. You stop seeing them as an enemy or a threat to your peace. Instead, you view them as a soul in need of healing. It becomes easier to feel compassion for them, even if their actions do not warrant it. In your heart, you understand that their quest for external validation will never bring them the peace they desire. Only by turning inward and reconnecting with their true essence can they find the healing they need. But this is a path they must walk on their own. It is not your role to heal them, nor is it your responsibility to fix their behavior. Your only responsibility is to preserve your inner peace and walk your own path of self-realization. As you move through life, you will encounter many people who try to manipulate or control, each one acting from their own place of fear, insecurity, or unhealed trauma. But none of them have the power to disrupt your peace unless you allow it. Their behavior is a reflection of their inner state, not of your worth or value. When you recognize this, it becomes easier to let go of any attachment to their actions or words. You understand that their behavior cannot touch the core of who you are unless you give it permission to do so. You are not responsible for their actions, nor are you obligated to engage with their drama. You have the power to choose your response, and in choosing not to react, you maintain control over your own energy and emotions. The energy you give to others is a reflection of what you believe about yourself. If you react to a narcissist behavior with anger, frustration, or hurt, it is because there is something within you that resonates with their manipulation or disrespect. Perhaps you are still seeking validation from others, or perhaps you have not fully embraced your worth. But when you stop reacting, when you refuse to engage in their drama, you are telling the universe that you no longer need external validation to feel whole. You are telling the world that your peace comes from within, and that no external force can shake it. This is a powerful statement, one that not only changes your own life but also shifts the energy around you. The more you embody this truth, the less power others have over you. Their words become like water off a duck's back, sliding right off you, unable to penetrate your peace. When you cease to react to a narcissist's behavior, you are essentially sending a message to the universe that you are no longer willing to engage in anything that does not serve your highest good. You are declaring your sovereignty and your right to live in peace. In doing so, you create space for the universe to respond to your new vibration. You will find that situations and people that once triggered you begin to fall away. The more you stand in your power, the more you align yourself with your divine truth, the more you will attract people who reflect your inner peace. You will attract relationships that are built on mutual respect, love, and understanding, rather than manipulation and control. At the same time, you will begin to notice that the narcissist's behavior starts to lose its grip on you. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself, defend your actions, or justify your worth. You understand that your value is not determined by anyone else's opinion. You no longer need to convince anyone of your truth. It is enough simply to know it yourself. And as you embrace this inner knowing, you will find that the narcissist's attempts to provoke or manipulate you become less and less effective. They will no longer see you as an easy target, because your energy no longer matches their frequency. You have raised your vibration to a higher level, and in doing so, you have removed yourself from their game. The power of non-engagement is not to be underestimated. It is not an act of weakness or avoidance, but a conscious choice to step into your own strength. By refusing to engage with negativity or drama, you are asserting that your peace is more important than anything else. You are choosing to live in alignment with your highest self, rather than reacting from a place of ego or insecurity. This is the true essence of personal empowerment. When you stop seeking external validation and instead turn inward for the answers, you begin to experience a level of peace and contentment that is not dependent on anyone else's approval. This shift in perspective also brings with it a deeper understanding of the law of attraction. When you stop engaging with the narcissist's energy, you are sending a message to the universe that you are no longer available for this type of interaction. You are creating space for something better to come into your life. As you focus on your own growth, your own healing, and your own inner peace, you begin to attract people and situations that support your highest good. The more you stand in your own power, the more you align yourself with the divine flow of the universe. You begin to see that everything you need is already within you, and that you have the ability to create the life you desire without needing to manipulate or control anyone else. It is also important to remember that by not reacting to a narcissist, you are not condoning their behavior. You are not excusing their actions or saying that they are acceptable. What you are doing is choosing to rise above their behavior. You are choosing not to engage in their drama because you understand that their actions are a reflection of their own inner turmoil, not a reflection of your worth. By choosing not to react, you are taking away their power. The narcissist may try to provoke you, to manipulate you, to make you feel small, but you do not have to engage. You do not have to prove anything to them, nor do you have to defend yourself. Your worth is not up for debate. You are divine, worthy, and whole, and nothing anyone says or does can change that. When you truly internalize this truth, the narcissist's behavior becomes irrelevant. They may continue their patterns, but you will no longer be affected by them. You will stand firm in your own truth, knowing that no external force can shake your inner peace. The beauty of this process is that it is not just about the narcissist. It is about you. It is about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your sovereignty. It is about recognizing that you are the creator of your own reality and that you have the power to choose how you respond to the world around you. When you stop reacting to the narcissist's behavior, you open the door to new possibilities. You create space for love, abundance, and peace to flow into your life. You no longer have to fight for your worth or prove yourself to anyone. You simply have to be. So let go of the need to call out the narcissist. Let go of the need to engage with their drama. Instead, focus on your own inner peace, your own growth, and your own connection to the divine. When you do this, you will find that the world around you begins to shift. You will no longer be affected by the narcissist's behavior. You will rise above it, and in doing so, you will create a life that is aligned with your highest truth. In conclusion, the path to peace and personal empowerment lies not in engaging with the drama or manipulation of others, but in choosing to rise above it. The narcissist's behavior is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, and while they may seek to provoke or control, you have the power to break free from their grip. By refusing to react, by choosing to focus on your own growth and inner peace, you reclaim your sovereignty and align yourself with the divine flow of the universe. When you stop seeking validation from external sources and begin to recognize your inherent worth, you create a life filled with love, abundance, and peace. Your energy shifts, and as a result, you attract those who resonate with your higher vibration. You no longer need to defend yourself, prove your worth, or engage in unnecessary battles. You are enough as you are, and your divine connection is all that you need. In not calling out the narcissist, you step into a place of true power. You choose to engage with life from a place of love and understanding, knowing that nothing outside of you can disturb your inner peace unless you allow it. This is the freedom that comes from self-realization, the ability to move through the world unshaken by the actions or opinions of others. You are the creator of your own reality, and when you align with your true self, the universe responds by bringing you everything you need to live a fulfilled and peaceful life. When God sends angels, something extraordinary happens. It is as though the very fabric of reality shifts, and divine protection begins to envelop the chosen ones. The chosen people, those who carry the light of God within them, are never left vulnerable, for when God calls upon his angels, they are dispatched with a sacred purpose to guard, guide, and uplift those he has chosen. The moment these celestial beings arrive, the air seems to change. What was once heavy with doubt or fear becomes filled with peace. The angels don't appear as the world might depict them, with their wings and halos. Rather, they move with quiet grace, working behind the scenes, unseen by human eyes, but felt in the spirit. Their presence is felt in moments of stillness, when everything aligns and a deep knowing settles within the heart of the chosen one. When God sends angels to protect, they do not merely shield from physical harm. No, they are sent to protect the soul, to shield the very essence of a person, keeping them anchored in their divine purpose. They work silently to strengthen the mind, to lift the heart, and to make the spirit unshakable, reminding the chosen ones that their path is always guided by a higher power. If you may not always see them, but you feel their presence when you are led through seemingly impossible situations, when doors open at the right time, and when the weight of the world becomes bearable. In those moments of divine intervention, you realize that something beyond your understanding is at work. The angels are not distant, they are present with you every step of the way, ensuring that the path laid out for you aligns with God's perfect plan. They are the whispers of intuition that steer you away from danger, the unexplained calm that keeps you steady in times of turmoil, and the signs that lead you back when you veer from your divine path. The angels sent by God do not interfere with free will. Instead, they guide gently, offering strength when needed, and sometimes they create quiet moments of pause that allow you to reflect and realign your actions with God's will. God's angels are an expression of his infinite love and care for his chosen. They are instruments of his will, yet they work in harmony with the natural flow of life, never forcing, never pushing. They allow for free will, yet they ensure that God's protection and guidance are always there when the chosen one is aligned with their divine purpose. The beauty of these angelic protectors is in their silent devotion. They stand guard over you even when you are unaware, intervening at times when you are most in need, never revealing their full power, but always present in the unseen realms. And when you look back on your life, you will realize that God's angels have always been with you, leading you toward your divine destiny, even in the most trying times. When God sends angels, they come as messengers, not in a way that demands your attention, but in a way that creates a subtle shift in your reality. They bring peace in the midst of chaos, and they remind you that you are never alone. The chosen ones, those who align with God's will, are never left to face the world alone. Angels are sent to protect them, to guide them, and to keep them on the path toward the fulfillment of their divine purpose. So, the next time you find yourself in need of protection or guidance, remember that when God sends angels, he is sending his love in the purest form, offering you a divine assurance that you are always under his care, and no force in this world can take that away from you. When God sends angels, they do not come as mere messengers of his will. They are sent with an unyielding purpose, an unwavering commitment to the divine plan. Every chosen one, whether they recognize it or not, is held in the most sacred of hands, and those hands never let go. There is a profound truth in the divine orchestration of life. God has always, and will always, provide the protection needed for those who are walking in alignment with his higher calling. Angels are not only protectors of the body, but guardians of the mind and spirit. The chosen people often face struggles, challenges that seem insurmountable, moments of fear and doubt that threaten to unravel the very essence of their being. Yet, in these times of uncertainty, the presence of God's angels can be felt more profoundly. It is as if, in the quietest moments of despair, there is a sudden surge of peace that washes over them. This is not a coincidence. This is the hand of the divine, the touch of angels, who are sent with the mission of protection and guidance. The chosen ones may often feel that they are walking alone, but in reality they are never without the protection of the celestial realm. Every step they take is covered by unseen forces, by the very angels of God who are committed to their safety and success. It is not always visible to the physical eye, but spiritually the signs are unmistakable. At times the chosen may feel an inner stirring, a prompting, urging them to take a certain path or avoid a particular situation. This inner voice, subtle yet insistent, is often the whisper of an angel, guiding the soul in ways that transcend human understanding. Angels are sent not to control or force outcomes, but to ensure that the divine plan is carried out. They do not interfere with free will, but gently encourage alignment with the highest good. The angels do not act out of force, but out of love, a love so powerful that it defies all logic. They understand that true protection comes when the individual's will is in harmony with the will of God. When the chosen one submits to this higher power, angels can more freely operate, more fully bring their protection and guidance to bear. There is a divine synchrony between God's will and the angel's mission. They know when to move and when to remain still. There are times when their presence is needed in the background, working invisibly in the spirit realm, ensuring that obstacles are cleared and opportunities are revealed. Then there are times when their presence is more apparent. In moments of near danger or challenge, their intervention can sometimes appear in the form of a sudden change in circumstances, a shift in events that seems to align perfectly with the needs of the chosen one. The purpose of God sending angels is not always about preventing immediate harm, but often about preparing the heart and mind for the journey ahead. The angels do not simply shield the chosen ones from external threats. They fortify the very core of their being. They know that protection goes beyond the physical. They know that true safety comes when the chosen one feels aligned with their purpose, when they can trust the unseen forces at work in their lives, and when they can move forward in faith. Sometimes the presence of angels may be felt through the words of others, through the kindness of strangers who offer help at just the right moment. In these moments, it is as though God Himself is speaking through them. It is as if the angels are using the people around you to send a message of encouragement, to provide a reminder that you are never alone, that divine protection surrounds you at every moment. These angelic interventions may seem ordinary on the surface, but beneath they are divine orchestrations, angels working through the hearts of others to fulfill God's purpose for His chosen ones. Angels also provide a unique form of protection when the chosen one is faced with moments of doubt and confusion. In these times of spiritual struggle, when the chosen person may question their worth, their path, or their purpose, the angels offer a quiet reassurance that the divine plan is always unfolding. It is not always the grand gestures of miraculous intervention that make a difference, but rather the quiet, unspoken presence of angelic protection that ensures the chosen ones stay on their divine course. These moments of peace, these flashes of clarity, are often the result of angels working tirelessly to strengthen the soul, to remind the chosen ones of the eternal truth that they are loved, protected, and never abandoned, to show them the truth of that hidden within. As the chosen ones walk their path, they may find themselves entering situations where their faith is tested. At times, the challenges may feel insurmountable and the world around them may seem to crumble. But in these very moments, the angels' work becomes even more apparent. They do not remove the challenges, but they give the strength to endure them. They provide the courage to face what seems impossible, to stand firm when the world seeks to knock them down. The chosen ones may not always understand the reasons for their struggles, but through the presence of God's angels, they are given the tools needed to face each challenge with grace and resilience. The power of angelic protection lies not just in what is prevented, but in what is allowed to unfold. For the angels are also sent to guide, to show the chosen ones the way when the path becomes unclear. They lead through intuition, through feelings, through a deep knowing that arises within the soul. The angels whisper truth into the heart, encouraging the chosen one to trust in themselves and in the divine purpose that has been set before them. Their guidance may come in dreams, in moments of inspiration, or in quiet moments of reflection. When the world falls away and all that is left is the voice of truth. As the chosen ones continue to walk in faith, they begin to realize that the presence of angels is not just a safety net, but a constant companion on their spiritual journey. Angels are the unseen hands that guide them, the divine embrace that comforts them, and the eternal presence that reminds them that they are part of a much greater plan. It is in their company that the chosen ones are able to manifest the will of God, to see beyond the physical, and to live in alignment with their higher purpose. It is important to remember that the angels are not sent to fight for us in the ways that we might imagine, but to work with us in partnership. They are the companions who walk beside us, the helpers who gently nudge us back onto the path when we stray. They work with us, guiding us to rise above the challenges that face us, to see the opportunities in every difficulty, and to walk through life with a heart full of faith, knowing that protection is always provided and the way forward is always clear. When God sends angels to protect the chosen people, they do not simply shield them from harm, but they empower them to rise, to trust, and to move forward with the confidence that the divine is always present. And in those moments when the chosen ones are unsure, when their hearts are heavy, the angels stand ever ready, holding the light of truth, ready to guide them back into alignment with the divine will. When God sends angels, it is a profound reminder that the unseen world is just as real, if not more so, than the physical one we experience with our senses. The realm of the angel is a realm that operates beyond human understanding, a realm that intersects with our lives only when we are open to it. Angels are not bound by time or space as we are. They exist in the eternal now, and their role is not only to protect but to guide, to encourage, and to remind the chosen ones of their divine purpose. The chosen ones often find themselves at the intersection of divine destiny and personal will. There are times when they may question their path, wondering whether the decisions they are making are in alignment with God's will. In these moments, the angels act as both protectors and guides, nudging the soul back onto the correct path. They do not impose their will, but rather serve as gentle reminders of the truth that exists within the heart of the chosen one. They help the soul navigate through confusion and uncertainty, allowing it to remain focused on the divine purpose for which it was sent. It is not always through grand events that angels protect us, but in the quiet, almost imperceptible moments of life. They may not part the seas or stop time, but they work in the smallest of details. They work in the moments when the heart feels a surge of peace in the middle of a storm, when a sense of calm washes over the mind in the face of adversity. These moments are often where the angels do their most significant work, aligning the chosen one with the divine plan in ways that cannot always be explained, but are deeply felt. When the soul is weary and the mind is burdened with worry, it is the angels who come to carry the load. They do not take the struggles away, but help transform them. They help turn the weight of worry into the lightness of trust. This divine transformation is not always immediate, and the journey may seem long, but the angel's presence ensures that no one is ever left to face the challenges alone. They are the companions who walk alongside the chosen ones, never demanding, always supporting. There are moments in life when the chosen ones may feel they are being pulled in many directions at once, and the temptation to lose focus is great. During these times, the angels serve as a reminder to stay aligned with the truth that lies within. They are not merely external protectors, but are connected to the very essence of the soul. They call forth the inner strength that lies dormant within, helping the individual tap into the boundless resources of faith, love, and divine will. Angels work not only on a physical level but also on a spiritual one. Their protection is holistic. They safeguard not only the body from harm but also the mind from doubt, the spirit from despair. They help the chosen ones to see the beauty in the seemingly mundane, to recognize the hand of God in every situation, and to understand that every experience, no matter how challenging, has a purpose. The angels are not simply guardians of the chosen one's safety, but their champions, encouraging them to reach for the highest potential that exists within them. When God sends angels, there is often a deep shift in the consciousness of the chosen ones. They begin to see life through a different lens, one that reflects the truth of their divine nature. The angels serve as reminders that everything in life is temporary, that even the darkest moments will pass, and that the love of God is eternal. The challenges they face are no longer seen as burdens, but as opportunities for growth, as lessons that lead them closer to their divine calling. The angels work tirelessly to ensure that the chosen ones stay true to their purpose. They gently redirect the mind when it begins to wander, or when the individual becomes distracted by the illusions of the material world. They help the chosen ones to see the greater picture, to recognize that their lives are part of a much grander design. It is through their presence that the chosen ones can remember that they are here for a reason, that their life holds infinite potential, and that they are never truly alone. One of the most powerful ways angels protect is by helping to cultivate a sense of inner peace. In the midst of turmoil, they encourage the chosen one to turn inward, to connect with the stillness that resides at the center of their being. It is in these moments of quiet that the angels' guidance can be most clearly heard. They do not speak in loud, commanding voices. Instead, they whisper in the stillness, offering wisdom and clarity that can only be felt in moments of deep reflection. The chosen ones often face moments of doubt where they question their worth, their purpose, or their connection to the divine. In these moments, the angels stand as beacons of light, shining through the darkness of uncertainty. They remind the chosen ones of their divine origin, of the love that is ever present, and of the purpose that is unique to them. The angels do not judge the chosen ones, but encourage them to embrace their imperfections, to accept themselves fully, and to continue walking in the light of God's love. As the chosen ones move through life, the angels offer protection not only from external harm, but from the harm that can come from within. They shield the heart from the bitterness that can arise from disappointment, from the fear that can arise from doubt, and from the anger that can arise from injustice. The angels teach the chosen ones to surrender these negative emotions, to release them into the hands of God, trusting that the divine will transform them into something beautiful and purposeful. Angels also serve as the bridge between the material and spiritual realms. They help the chosen ones to recognize that their lives are not just about surviving, but about thriving in alignment with the divine will. They encourage them to take risks, to trust in the unseen, and to move forward even when the path seems unclear. The angels know that the journey of the chosen ones is one of spiritual growth, and they are there to ensure that this growth is not stunted by fear, doubt, or limitation. In times of joy and success, angels are present to celebrate alongside the chosen ones, reinforcing their connection to the divine. They remind them that their success is not their own, but a reflection of the divine love and grace that surrounds them. When the chosen ones experience moments of triumph, the angels encourage them to be humble, to recognize that all blessings are gifts from God. They remind them that these moments of success are part of the greater plan, and they are here to inspire others and to continue walking in faith. The angels' protection and guidance are not limited to times of struggle or hardship. They are present in every aspect of life. Whether in times of joy or sorrow, challenge or ease, the angels are always present, always working to ensure that the chosen ones remain aligned with their divine purpose. Their love is constant, their support unwavering, and their protection eternal. They are the invisible hands that guide, the silent voices that whisper in the heart, and the loving presence that watches over the chosen ones every step of the way. When God sends angels, He is sending His love in its purest form. The angels are the embodiment of divine protection, of guidance, and of unconditional love. They are sent not just to protect the chosen ones from harm, but to help them remember who they truly are. They help the chosen ones to walk in faith, to trust in the divine plan, and to know that they are never alone. Zen. The angels are the divine companions who walk alongside them, offering protection, guidance, and love as they move through life's journey. And in the end, when the chosen ones look back on their lives, they will see the subtle yet powerful hand of God at work, always present, always guiding, and always loving. As the chosen ones continue their journey, they begin to realize that the protection of the angels is not just a safety net to shield them from harm, but also a divine tool for their transformation. The angels are not mere guardians, but active participants in the shaping of their spiritual growth. In every moment of life, the angels invite the chosen ones to become more conscious, more attuned to the divine wisdom that flows from within. When challenges arise, the angels never offer quick fixes. Instead, they help the chosen ones to dive deep into their inner selves, encouraging them to confront and transform their fears, doubts, and insecurities. These are not moments to be avoided or ignored, but opportunities to face the shadows within and bring them into the light. The angels are always present, not to spare the chosen ones from their struggles, but to ensure that they are never alone in the process of transformation. They offer comfort, not in the absence of discomfort, but in the presence of divine support that assures the soul that it will always rise above any difficulty. In times of confusion or uncertainty, the angels call upon the chosen ones to remember their true nature. The physical world, with its distractions and illusions, can sometimes make the chosen ones forget who they truly are. Divine beings with infinite potential. The angels gently guide the soul back to the truth, reminding them that they were born with a purpose and that everything in their life, every encounter, every experience is part of the divine orchestration designed to help them fulfill that purpose. The protection of angels is a reminder that no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always light. Even in the most difficult times, when the chosen ones feel that they have lost their way or are surrounded by doubt, the angels bring the light of God's love into the darkest corners of the soul. They do not erase the pain or the struggle, but they provide the strength to endure and the wisdom to navigate through it. It is through the angels' love and presence that the chosen ones are reminded that they are always connected to the divine, always held in the embrace of God's unconditional love. There are moments when the path ahead may seem too difficult to walk, when the chosen ones feel weary, burdened by the weight of their responsibilities or the magnitude of their dreams. During these times, the angels do not force their will upon the chosen ones, but quietly whisper the message of perseverance, of trust in the unfolding of life. They encourage the soul to take one step at a time, knowing that the divine plan is being revealed at precisely the right moment. The angels help the chosen ones to release the need for control, to surrender to the flow of life, and to trust that God is guiding them at all times. They teach that divine timing is always perfect, that everything that happens is part of the greater design. Whether it is a delay, an obstacle, or an unexpected turn of events, the angels help the chosen ones to see these experiences as opportunities for growth, as necessary steps in the unfolding of their soul's purpose. So please listen these diming events to ensure life, that diming package which has come from the higher purpose of life. The process of transformation, however, is not always a linear one. There are moments of progress followed by setbacks, moments of clarity followed by confusion. The angels understand that the journey is often circuitous and filled with moments of doubt. Yet they continue to stand by the chosen ones, offering their unwavering support. They teach the lesson that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to greater wisdom and strength. But through their presence, they help the chosen ones to see that it is not the absence of obstacles that defines their success, but their ability to rise every time they fall. The angels are also sent to remind the chosen ones that the path to spiritual awakening is not just about external success, but about inner peace. They encourage the chosen ones to seek balance and harmony within themselves, to cultivate inner stillness amidst the chaos of the world. Through their guidance, the chosen ones are able to tap into a deeper sense of knowing, a deeper sense of being. They begin to understand that true fulfillment comes not from the accumulation of worldly possessions or achievements, but from a deep connection with the divine. One of the most profound gifts that the angels bring to the chosen ones is the ability to see the world through the eyes of love. They help the chosen ones to move beyond judgment, beyond fear, and beyond the illusions of separation. The angels invite them to embrace all of life, to see the divine presence in every person, and they teach the chosen ones that love is not a feeling or an emotion, but a state of being, a divine force that flows through them and connects them to everything and everyone around them. Through the angels' protection, the chosen ones begin to see that their lives are not isolated, but are deeply interconnected with the lives of others. They realize that their actions, their thoughts, and their intentions have a ripple effect that extends far beyond their immediate surroundings. The angels remind them that they are co-creators with God, and that every thought they entertain, every word they speak, and every action they take has the power to shape their reality. In this way, the protection of the angels is not only about shielding the chosen ones from external harm, but also about guiding them to create a life that is in alignment with divine will. The angels encourage the chosen ones to remember the truth of their being, that they are not separate from God, but are part of the divine whole. They help the chosen ones to realize that they are divine beings having a human experience, and that everything they encounter is an opportunity to remember and reclaim their divinity. The angel's presence serves as a constant reminder of the truth that lies within, of the divine spark that resides in every soul. As the chosen ones deepen their connection with the angels, they begin to experience a sense of peace and fulfillment that transcends external circumstances. They realize that true protection is not the absence of challenges or struggles, but the awareness that they are always held in the loving embrace of God. They are never truly alone, for the angels are always with them, guiding them, protecting them, and supporting them in every moment. When God sends angels, He sends a message of love, protection, and divine guidance. The angels are not only protectors of the physical body, but guardians of the soul. They are the messengers who help the chosen ones navigate through the complexities of life and guide them back to their divine essence. The angel's presence is a reminder that the chosen ones are never alone, that they are always surrounded by love, and that they are always supported in their journey toward spiritual awakening. Through their presence, the angels help the chosen ones remember the truth of who they are and why they are here. They teach them to trust in divine timing, to surrender to the flow of life, and to embrace the beauty and wisdom that comes from every experience. With the angels by their side, the chosen ones are able to walk with confidence, knowing that they are guided, protected, and loved every step of the way. Manifestation. The presence of angels in the lives of the chosen ones does not only offer protection from external dangers, but acts as an internal force of awakening. They are the divine companions who guide the soul towards self-realization, helping the chosen ones remember their true nature in the midst of life's trials. Through the angels, the divine offers more than mere rescue. It offers transformation, allowing the chosen ones to rise above the limitations of the material world and ascend into their spiritual power. In their silent yet powerful way, the angels reveal the hidden truths that lie within each of us. They speak not through words, but through intuitive insights, feelings of peace that rise above the noise of the world. These moments of clarity are not accidental. They are the whispers of the angels, encouraging the chosen ones to align their lives with divine purpose. The angels help them remember that the purpose of life is not to accumulate worldly wealth or success, but to awaken to the fullness of their divine potential, to discover who they truly are in the eyes of God. When God sends his angels, he sends a loving reminder that the chosen ones are never lost, even in moments of confusion or uncertainty. The angels help them navigate the maze of life, offering direction and clarity when the way forward seems unclear. They help the chosen ones tap into their own inner wisdom, guiding them to trust their own intuitive knowledge. When life presents challenges, the angels are there to remind the chosen ones that these challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for spiritual growth. They help the soul to understand that there is no such thing as failure in the divine plan, only lessons to be learned and growth to be attained. As the chosen ones continue on their spiritual journey, they begin to realize that the angels' protection is not a shield to keep them from experiencing hardship, but a divine force that enables them to endure and transcend those hardships. The angels help them to embrace their struggles, knowing that these are the very experiences that will refine their character, deepen their faith, and the trials of life are not to be avoided but welcomed. For they are the crucible in which the chosen ones are being forged into their highest selves. Through the guidance of angels, the chosen ones begin to understand that they are never truly alone, even when it may feel like they are. The angels help them to transcend the illusion of separation, reminding them that the divine presence is always with them, always within them, and always guiding them toward their highest good. They learn that true isolation is a product of the mind, and that in reality they are always connected to the divine, always supported by unseen forces that work on their behalf. The angels help the chosen ones embrace their own power. They remind them that they are not powerless victims of circumstance, but powerful co-creators with God. With each decision, with each thought, and with each action, the chosen ones are constantly creating their reality. The angels help them realize that their lives are a reflection of their inner state, and through the angels' guidance, they begin to take responsibility for their thoughts, emotions, and actions. The angels help them understand that they are not at the mercy of the world, but that they are the creators of their own experience. By shifting their inner state, they can shift their outer reality. As the chosen ones become more aware of the angels' presence, they begin to feel a sense of peace and security that transcends the external circumstances of their lives. They begin to understand that true peace is not found in the absence of conflict, but in the unwavering trust in divine protection and guidance. The angels help them cultivate an inner calm that remains steady no matter what storms may rage around them. They learn that peace is a state of being, not a condition that depends on external factors. Through the angels' influence, they begin to see that peace comes from knowing that they are always divinely supported, no matter what challenges arise. The angels also help the chosen ones to realize that their journey is not just about personal growth, but about contributing to the greater good of the world. The angels remind them that they are here not just for their own spiritual evolution, but to serve others, to be a light in the darkness, and to bring healing to a world in need. The chosen ones are not isolated beings. They are part of a greater tapestry of life, and their actions ripple out to affect the world around them. And the angels help them to understand that every act of kindness, every moment of love, and every act of service is an expression of divine grace that has the power to transform the world. The angels' protection is also a reminder that the chosen ones are capable of creating miracles in their own lives. The angels help them to recognize their inherent divinity and to access the infinite potential that lies within. They help them realize that miracles are not just rare, extraordinary events, but are the natural result of living in alignment with divine will. With the angels by their side, the chosen ones begin to experience miracles in their everyday lives, from unexpected opportunities to sudden insights, from the healing of old wounds to the manifestation of their heart's desires. The angels help them to understand that miracles are not the result of external circumstances, but of their own faith, trust, and alignment with the divine. As the chosen ones continue their journey, they begin to see the world in a new light. The angels help them to shift their perspective, to see beyond the surface appearances of things and to recognize the divine presence in all things. They learn to see beauty in the mundane, to find joy in the simple moments, and to feel gratitude for every breath they take. The angels guide them to recognize the sacredness of life, to see that every experience, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is a gift from the divine. In this way, the angels do not just protect the chosen ones, but also elevate them to new heights of awareness. They help them to see the divine plan at work in their lives, to understand that every event, every encounter, and every challenge is part of the larger unfolding of God's purpose. The angels help them to trust in the divine wisdom that is always present, always guiding, and always leading them toward their highest good. Through the angels' protection, the chosen ones are able to walk with confidence, knowing that they are supported by divine forces that are working on their behalf. The angels help them to see that they are part of a larger divine plan and that they are always in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. The angels help them to trust in the journey, to surrender to the flow of life, and to know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And in the presence of angels, the chosen ones begin to realize that the greatest protection they can receive is not from external forces, but from their own awareness of their connection to the divine. As they deepen their relationship with the angels and with God, they begin to experience life from a place of profound peace, joy, and trust. They realize that they are always safe, always protected, and always divinely supported, no matter what challenges they may face. When the angels are sent to protect the chosen ones, their divine role extends far beyond mere physical protection. They work in the unseen realms to guide, heal, and bring balance to the mind, body, and spirit. These angels, messengers of the divine, are deeply attuned to the higher dimensions of consciousness, ensuring that the chosen ones are always connected to the truth of their being. Their protection is a constant reminder that the divine presence is within them, not an external force to be feared, but an ever-present well of strength, wisdom, and love. It is not merely in times of crisis that the angels make their presence known, but in every moment, subtly influencing the course of events, aligning circumstances in such a way that the chosen ones feel a sense of purpose, a sense of being led in the right direction. Whether through an unexpected encounter, a sudden insight, or a deep inner knowing, the angels guide them toward their highest potential, away from distractions, and toward the divine plan that is unfolding for them. Footnote: even when the chosen ones may feel lost or uncertain, the angels help them to remember that they are never truly alone, for the divine is always with them, and they are always being led toward their highest good. The work of the angels is deeply intertwined with the law of attraction, as it operates not only through the physical realm, but also through the power of thought and belief. When the chosen ones are in alignment with their higher self, when they hold the knowing that they are divinely protected, the angels move swiftly to clear the path for them, arranging people, events, and opportunities that match their frequency. This is the path whereby manifestation of perfect health, variety, knowledge, and all the other told. This protection extends beyond the material world, entering the mind and heart of the chosen ones, helping them to align their thoughts with the divine order. The angels help to dissolve the negative thought patterns that create fear, doubt, and confusion, replacing them with thoughts of clarity, confidence, and trust in the divine flow. The angels remind the chosen ones that their greatest strength lies not in their ability to control external circumstances, but in their ability to align their inner world with divine truth. As they cultivate trust, faith, and love within themselves, the angels respond by amplifying their efforts, creating a field of divine protection around them. This field does not simply block out harm, but allows the chosen ones to move through challenges with a sense of grace, resilience, and wisdom. They begin to understand that true protection comes from an internal state of being, and as their consciousness expands, so too does their ability to navigate the world with clarity and purpose. When God sends his angels, they bring with them a profound sense of peace and stillness, a reminder that all is as it should be, regardless of the circumstances. This peace is not a passive state, but an active engagement with life, a trust that all things are working together for good. The angels help the chosen ones to see the greater picture, to understand that every event, no matter how difficult, is part of the divine plan, serving to refine their character and bring them closer to their true nature. Through their divine protection, the angels guide them toward the path of least resistance, where challenges are viewed not as threats but as opportunities to grow, learn, and evolve. As the chosen ones align themselves with the divine presence, the angels become more evident in their lives, guiding them toward their soul's purpose. The protection they offer is not about shielding the chosen ones from discomfort, but about helping them to face life's trials with a heart full of faith, knowing that every obstacle is an invitation to grow. With each trial, the chosen ones gain greater clarity, greater insight, and greater strength, until they stand firmly rooted in their divine power. The angels also work in the realm of healing. When the chosen ones face emotional wounds or physical ailments, the angels are there to bring healing to the body and the soul. They help them release old, limiting beliefs that may have caused pain and guide them to a place of forgiveness, both for themselves and for others. The angels bring healing not just to the physical body, but to the emotional and spiritual bodies as well, helping the chosen ones to heal from past trauma, hurt, and sorrow. They help them to understand that healing is not a destination but a journey, one that unfolds as the chosen ones allow themselves to release the old and embrace the new. The protection of the angels also comes in the form of divine timing. The angels guide the chosen ones to understand that there is a time for everything and that patience is key. When the chosen ones are aligned with the divine plan, they understand that everything unfolds in perfect timing and they do not need to force things to happen. The angels help them to trust that the right opportunities will appear when the time is right, and that they will be guided every step of the way. With this understanding, the chosen ones no longer feel the need to rush or struggle, but can move through life with a sense of ease, knowing that they are always in the right place at the right time. The divine protection that the angels offer also serves to illuminate the path of the chosen ones. They are not meant to walk in darkness, but in the light of divine guidance. The angels help them to see clearly, not just with their eyes, but with their inner knowing. As the chosen ones begin to trust in their intuition, they realize that they have always been guided, always been protected, even when they could not see it. The angels reveal to them that their entire life has been a journey of divine orchestration, a dance between the seen and the unseen, between the physical and the spiritual. The angels help them to understand that everything that has happened in their lives has been part of the greater divine plan, and that they have always been on the path they were meant to follow. As the chosen ones continue to walk with the angels, they begin to realize that protection is not just about keeping them safe, but about empowering them to live in their full potential. The angels help them to recognize their own divine power and to step into it with confidence. They help them to see that they are not passive recipients of divine protection, but active co-creators with the divine, creating the life they desire through their thoughts, beliefs, and actions. The angels remind them that they are not separate from the divine, but one with it, and that by aligning with their higher self, they can create miracles in their own lives. The protection of the angels extends to the heart and soul, encouraging the chosen ones to step forward with love and compassion. The angels guide them to love themselves deeply, to forgive themselves for past mistakes, and to release any negative self-talk that may have kept them trapped in feelings of unworthiness. Through the angels' guidance, they learn that true protection comes from within, and that by loving themselves fully, they align with the divine and invite greater protection into their lives. In every moment, the angels are there, guiding the chosen ones with love and wisdom, reminding them that they are always supported, always divinely protected, and always walking in the light. As they continue on their journey, they begin to see that the angels' protection is not just an external force, but a reflection of their own divine nature. With the angels by their side, the chosen ones realize that they are capable of achieving anything, for they are never alone, and the divine plan is always working on their behalf. Through the angels' divine protection, the chosen ones come to understand that life is not something to be feared or endured, but a sacred journey to be embraced. Every challenge, every moment of struggle is an opportunity to deepen their faith, strengthen their resolve, and connect more fully with the divine. The angels help them to see that there is no separation between them and the divine, and that they are always in the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. With each step they take, they are guided by divine light, and with each moment they move closer to the full realization of their divine potential. When God sends His angels to protect the chosen ones, it is a divine act of love, guidance, and empowerment. The angels do not merely shield from harm, but work on a deeper level, aligning the chosen ones with their highest potential. They are there not only in moments of crisis, but throughout every step of the journey, subtly guiding, healing, and transforming. Through their presence, the chosen ones are reminded that they are never alone, that divine protection is not just external, but a reflection of their own inner strength, wisdom, and connection to the divine. The angels help the chosen ones see beyond their circumstances, guiding them to trust in the divine timing and the unfolding of their lives. They are reminded that true protection comes from within, through faith, trust, and alignment with their higher self. With each challenge faced, each moment of doubt, the angels offer a gentle reminder that they are divinely supported, always guided by a higher purpose. As the chosen ones continue their journey, they realize that the protection of the angels is not a passive shield, but an active, empowering force that enables them to walk in their divine power, manifest their desires, and embrace their full potential. The angels guide them to live with love, trust, and faith, knowing that they are always aligned with the divine plan and that their every step is illuminated by the light of God's love. How? In embracing this divine protection, the chosen ones awaken to the truth that they are powerful beyond measure, that they are part of a greater cosmic plan, and that with the angels by their side, they can accomplish all that they are meant to achieve. Through divine protection, guidance, and empowerment, the chosen ones are transformed into the fullest expression of who they are meant to be, walking in the light of divine love, always supported, always protected, and always in perfect alignment with the divine.